Hi. Okay, so today I want to talk about letters of recommendation because I know a lot of my students have teachers who come and ask them questions about how the letters of recommendation are going to get submitted. I specifically today want to focus on the letters of recommendation that have to be sent directly to the school in hard copy. So not the ones that are submitted digitally or the ones that are uploaded. For those, they're a lot easier and the teachers usually can figure out how to do it because it's just an email address. But if you're applying to Japan or Korean schools, or if you're applying to some European schools, they might ask you to actually send a hard copy, ask the teacher to send a hard copy of your letter of recommendation. And so since you're probably going to have to help them do that, I wanted to make a little video so that you understood how you could support your teacher in submitting that letter of recommendation. The first thing I want to show you is a little picture that I drew of a letter of recommendation. And I realize that when I hold this up in front of the camera, I actually think it's going to be switched. But you'll be able to get the sense of it. So this little picture is sort of an outline of a letter of recommendation. Logo at the top, the date and the greeting here, the content, and then there's usually a sincerely down at the bottom, and then like a little block of text. Now remember, this is mirrored for what it's supposed to be, unless I can figure out how to swap that afterwards. We'll see if I am that technologically savvy. But the important thing is that in between the sincerely and the block of text at the bottom, which has the teacher's name and stuff in it, we usually leave 4 blocks of space there. So if your teacher is unfamiliar with a Western style of letter of recommendation, make sure you tell them to leave a gap between the sincerely and the content afterwards, which has their name, their position, the school they work for, and their contact details. That little space is important because it's where the teacher should sign. So if you want, you can take the sample letters of recommendation that I gave you to give to your teacher, and you can show them this is where Christina wants you to sign it, because sometimes teachers will put it over here, and that's not standard practice. So after the teacher has signed it, they are supposed to fold it into 3 pieces, into thirds, and put it into an envelope. Now, if your school has envelopes with a logo on it, it's ideal because then it's going to have the name of your high school and some information on the front. It looks nice and official. Not all schools have that logo though, and if they don't have an envelope, you can use a plain white one. You can even bring it to the teacher if they don't have envelopes to help kind of the process get moved along. But the teacher is supposed to put it into an envelope. First thing that they're going to do is they're going to put it in and then they're going to seal it, right? So if you have an envelope, it can either be glued along here or some of the envelopes have glue on it where you can like lick them. So whichever way it is, the teacher should put it in and seal it. On the front is going to be the recommendation for and your full name in Vietnamese order, right? After that, I like to put the birthday because I think it helps them locate your file if this letter gets separated from the rest of your stuff. But if you have an applicant ID, that would also work. The item that goes under that is the subject. So this is what the teacher has, what class they teach you in. So if it is your information technology teacher, you just write information tech. And that way you'll have a letter of recommendation and it will be marked and clearly for the IT teacher, because you're going to have several of these in your application package and we need to make sure that they don't get mixed up. After that, you're going to turn it over and the teacher has to sign across the seal. So after they've sealed it, they sign in a way that goes across the line to make sure that this letter is sort of closed officially by the teacher. If it does not have that on the back, you have a chance of getting it rejected and you may have to resend it. So that would be really annoying and time consuming and financially expensive for you. So don't let them forget that part. The last thing I will say is this envelope is probably going to go into a package with the rest of your stuff. So you want to make sure it's a small envelope, not like a big A4 size one, because if you have 3 or 4 of these mixed in with the rest of your application materials, it's going to end up taking up a lot of space. If you have any questions or if your teachers have any questions, please feel free to email me or to leave a comment. I know that for teachers who are helping students submit letters of recommendation abroad, that the regulations and rules for different countries can be confusing. So I'm always happy to answer questions. Just tell me where you're applying and what they told you they need, and I will tell you how to explain it clearly to your teachers so that they get everything right and everyone puts their pieces together in time. I hope you have a great day.